Hello and welcome to the Next Gen Racing YouTube channel. It's been quite a while since we've been with you. Our last official video was actually our Goodwood video. Obviously, I put a video up last week for York where Jack and I went head to head in what could be said, Jack, to be we weren't on best form in York week. We had a few winners, but it was tough.
I'm speaking for myself here. It was pretty embarrassing. York, I was lacking motivation for York. Obviously, I was 4,000 miles away from York, which obviously didn't help as well. Baaeed was ridiculously impressive, though, wasn't he? But, I mean, we both hit the crossbar during the week. We ended up joint about 1.6 points down, which from 16 selections really isn't the end of the world. Another 2-1 winner, and we would have been in profit. Obviously, we would have liked to be just the 3 winners between us, a couple of places as well. But look, we've always got... This week we got the Beverly Bullet. Everyone loves the Beverly Bullet. It's the best weekend of the year, isn't it?
It is. Well, we've got the Beverly Bullet to look at, and we've got a few races from Goodwood over the bank holiday weekend as well. And how was the time in America? I saw some baseball on your Twitter. What was going on there?
Yeah, I mean, it was great fun. It was great fun. I've never been over to the US before. Unfortunately, didn't get over to a Saratoga or a Churchill Downs or whatever. I love a speed figure. They love a speed figure over there. I'm a big fan of that. But no, it was great fun. It was great to kind of get away from the racing sphere as much as I could. Albeit I was waking up trying to refresh and have a look as much at the Ebor Festival as I could. But look, we're back and we're ready for more.
Yeah, no, looking forward to what's going to be a good end to the season, I feel like. I think we're both massive racing fans in general. We're looking forward to the National Hunt season. We're only, 2-3 months away until it really starts kicking off. But we've still got some great flat meetings to come. We've got Future Champions Weekend at Newmarket, season the Star. 2-year-olds on show there. We've got the Arc, we've got Champions Day, we've got the Betfair Sprint Cup next week, and then we've got some good meetings, haven't we, still to look forward to.
Yeah, we do. I know I put on Twitter, this year has really failed to capture the imagination. I think it's kind of been reciprocated in a lot of people's punting as well, because I'm lacking motivation to look at some of the racing. I think there's been a lack of stories this year. I know we've had Baaeed, which has been great. I think Highfield Princess has been another great story that we've had as well. But I think there's been a lack of superstars in a way, and perhaps a lack of a story or two. Perhaps we're just missing Oisin Murphy. Who knows? But look, I think... We had such a stellar National Hunt season. Last year, I thought, was such a brilliant flat season as well. And I feel like this year has failed to live up to that. But hopefully we can end in stellar fashion.
Yeah, no, I'm hoping that we should have a good end to the season. We see the autumn campaign has come out as well. It's always exciting. Some different horses coming out. And, the ground will change. We'll start to get a bit more soft in the going. So some of those flat performers who like a bit of juice in the ground can start performing to their better abilities as well. So I don't know, before we get into the preview today, we've got plenty of time, so we've only got a few races to get through. Highlights of the season so far. I know you've just said that it's been a bit of a lackluster season, but there are plenty to look at, the likes of Baaeed. Obviously, he's got to be number one. You mentioned Highfield Princess, who won in good style last week. But I'm going to say that being there to see possibly one of the best Goodwood Cups I've ever witnessed, between Stradivarius, Kyprios and Trushan turning in together, the roar of the crowd, obviously that was, said to be Stradivarius' last Goodwood Cup, so they had all these banners out, flags were everywhere, and it was just, the atmosphere was amazing. It was a shame he couldn't do it, but I'm going to say so far it's been the highlight of the season for me. What about yourself?
I'd probably say Desert Crown's winning the Derby.
That was
I thought it was really special to see a 3-year-old do it in that style. I know he'd been very impressive in the Dante, but I think to follow that up in the way he did in the Derby, I think was great. It's been such a shame we haven't been able to see him since. Perhaps that's one thing we've been lacking from this flat season. But I do think it was great to see Stradivarius. Heaven forbid they try and run him next year as a 9-year-old. Just retire him, for goodness sake. Let the poor lad have a rest. But yeah, I think Desert Crown's winning the Derby was my highlight of the season.
Okay, absolutely fine. And the last thing I've got to ask you, Baaeed last week, we've mentioned it already, exceptional. We saw him in the Sussex Stakes and we thought this thing's just a monster. Like, nothing's beating this. Step up to 10 furlongs, he looks even better. Now, there's kind of 2 questions here. First question is, where would you like to see him end his career? And where do you think we'll see him end his career?
I'm so up in the air about this. I usually kind of think I have a decisive opinion one way or the other, but I am just so up in the air. I completely understand both the breeding prospects of him going to win an Arc or not going, and probably winning the Champion Stakes and then going off in grand style there. But he'll probably have bottomless ground either way. I think it's probably going to be down to the owners completely, which they do. I'm going to sit on the fence and say I'd probably run him over a mile and a quarter and let him go away unbeaten. I'd love to see him in the Arc, don't get me wrong. I just don't think it's going to be run to suit. As we saw last year, it just turned into a horrible test. Are they going to risk that? Probably not.
Yeah, I think Shaker Hiss is going to have kind of the final say on everything. And after the race at York, she seemed pretty adamant that the Champion Stakes is where we're going to see this horse. And that's not a bad thing necessarily. Jack and I, we always celebrate the end of the season by going to Champions Day together, so we may get to see Baaeed. But you've told me off camera that you may be heading to the Arc this year. No guarantee yet, but if he does go to the Arc, you may just be there.
I'm pretty sure we're going to be there. Yeah,
Okay.
I'd like to think I'll make my first journey over to Longchamp to watch the Arc this year.
Okay,
So
well, that'll be a
crossed.
special one if he definitely turns up there. I'll tell you what, with Alpinista as well, who was very impressive in the Yorkshire Oaks. We have to see whether I've got a weekend off, but you may just see me over there with Jack. But we will wait. We've only got a month or so to go until the Arc, so looking forward to that. Let's get into the preview then. Like I say, it's not the best racing that we're going to be previewing during the year, but Goodwood's just down the road, and I suppose we should start off with there. We've got 3 races to preview on the Saturday from there, and we're going to preview one on the Sunday as well. And we'll start off with the 150, which is the Group 3 Prestige Fillies Stakes. 7 furlongs for the 2-year-olds here. Fairy Cross is 3-1, Queen Ollie 9-2, Bright Diamond 5-1, Breege, Candle of Hope, and Mottis Font 8-1, and double figures bar these. Now, I'm not sure, Jack, that the favourite sets the standards here. And you might disagree here, but Beaten by Dance in the Grass, who's unbeaten for the Johnson team and was given a really good ride last time out. But the horse that horse beat on debut was a horse called One Nation for Godolphin, who was well beaten in a nursery handicap at York last week. I don't want to get too excited. I know it's a Charlie Appleby 2-year-old. I know what can be said about these horses, but I just have a feeling that there are other horses in here to be worried about, especially Bright Diamond. Now, this horse could be anything for Carl Burke. Really could. A 9-length winner at Newmarket last time out. And with these Carl Burke horses, especially one from last week that finished second to Noble Star, Marshman, that horse there, just on his first 2 starts, looked exceptional and put in a really good display against Noble Star. I've mentioned on Twitter that horse should be going for the Middle Park and should be winning that as well. But I'm going to side away from both of them. I'm going to go for the Queen's horse.
Okay.
And that's Candle of Hope, who had done nothing wrong before meeting Victory Dance and Ferrari Queen the last day. And you've already sent me a message this season saying Victory Dance may be a potential runner in next year's 2,000 guineas, a much shorter price than when you text me. Maybe not the best 2-year-old Charlie Appleby has at the moment. We don't know. He's got so many. He could have double-figure runners in next year's 2,000 guineas if he wanted to. But Ferrari Queen, another horse who was really well regarded for the Johnson team as well. Now, I just think that this race here is a lot weaker than that race that Candle of Hope ran in. I think that she could be really good, and I think that 8-1 is just a bit of a wrong price potentially. I've just got a question mark over the favourite, and I'd like to see Candle of Hope come in and potentially boost the form of Victory Dance. What about yourself?
It's a bit of a horrible race. I'm going to
is.
start with. Sorry for those that are watching that really enjoy the Prestige Stakes. I really enjoyed it last year. I thought Danae was going to be miss on scene on that occasion. Of course, Danae's back out since that as well. Of course, we'll go over that soon. Very cross, yeah. Very interesting Appleby runner. Of course, 2-year-olds at Goodwood. William Buick rides Goodwood so well, like no other. So I was looking. Of course, we've got soft ground at the moment. Probably go off good to soft. I think in a couple of days' time from when we're recording. Now, I don't think the ground's going to be too much of a problem. I find it very interesting because, of course, the winner at Sandown, trained by the Johnsons. I always feel like the Johnsons don't get enough credit. 5,000 winners.
I know.
It's
amazing achievement that,
absolutely
wasn't it,
obscene.
just?
Absolutely obscene. I feel like if you get beaten by a Johnson horse, you probably don't get the credit. If it was if he was trained by Aidan O'Brien, I think it would be a completely different story. Oh, sorry, she was trained by Aidan O'Brien. I think it'd be a completely different story. But I think two of her best 3 performances on RPRs were on yielding to soft ground, so I don't think the ground will be too much of a problem for Fairy Cross. But you mentioned the one I'm going to go for, and that is Bright Diamond. Of course, in the perfect power colours, trained by Carl Burke, very impressive at Newmarket. I mean, she was off the bridle very early. She went to 50-1 in play, but I mean, she picked up in good style. She raced wide. She was slowly away. She was very, very green, I thought, early doors. You could tell she was going to come on for the run. But I mean, from a time point of view, she did it in great style. I mean, of course, the Sweet Solera was on the same day, which Mottismont ran in, which panned out to be a completely different race. I mean, the race that Bright Diamond won, they finished at a sprint. I think she finished at 109 or 110% finishing speed. And then Mottismont finished at about 96%. They went really quick early doors. I think they recorded a sub 11 seconds second or third furlong and tried to sustain that. But she would have finished 6th if she ran in the Sweet Solera, just based on time, beaten just over 3 lengths by Mottismont. So I thought that was interesting on just on her first run. That would have been. I think Bright Diamond could take a big step forward, and hopefully at about 9-2 she'll be able to go well.
Okay, Bright Diamond for Jack. Like I say, that horse there could come on plenty for that 9-length win at Newmarket last time. I'm going to go Candle Hope, Her Majesty's runner. I'm hoping that horse can go in at 8-1. Let's move on to the 3 o'clock then. This might not take long. It's the March Stakes, 1 3/4 miles, Group 3 for the 3-year-olds. And Who Ya Mal is your 2-7 favourite in this 4-runner affair. Perfect Alibi 9-2, Annie Marto 16-1, and Pink Fire Lily is 250-1. Just trying to pick up some prize money, I think, there. Who Ya Mal. Now, that's 2-7.
Go on, take the credit. Yeah. Go on, take it.
I put this horse up at 150-1 to place in the Derby. Yep, there we go. I've got it in there. I've got to get it every time.
You did what?
Yeah, I did 150-1. I did, yeah. I think I've got.
You've never said that before.
I'll tell you what, I haven't gone on about this enough. I mean, I remember when Torquato Tasso won the ARC for you. You went on for about 6 or 7 episodes. You gave it a mention.
6 or 7 months. I'd say.
Yeah, it was on your Twitter bio for a good 6 or 7 months for sure. Who Ya Mal though? Look, this horse here. Last time at Goodwood in the Gordon Stakes, Ryan Moore actually dropped the whip in that race there. And I think Ryan was convinced that he would got a lot closer to what is now an odds-on Ledger contender in New London, who won the race. And Deauville Legend, who won the Great Voltigeur last week, was second. But only, I thought that Who Ya Mal was unlucky not to get second really in that race. So the form is really stacking up. It's not going to take long, this. Like I say, Who Ya Mal's going to win this. So that's it.
Yeah. I probably won't spend too much longer. Yep, you've said all the reasons why Who Ya Mal is a 7-1 favourite. And Amato, I think, could be able to perhaps snag second, stepping up to a mile and 6 for the first time. Over a mile and a half last time. Was a never near a 6th at Doncaster, but hopefully the step up in trip should suit behind Who Ya Mal.
You might get 1-3 about the without market on Perfect Alibi. So if you want a bit of value over the 2-7 favourite, you might better get 3-1 on Perfect Alibi. There we go.
Animato.
Oh, you like? Oh, sorry. You fancy Animato?
Animato, just to finish second. Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah, why not? Stepping up to a mile and 6 for the first time. Why not?
You might get better prices than 3-1 on. Shows I was listening. Okay, on to the 3:35, which is the feature race of the weekend. Oh my god, it shouldn't be the feature race looking at it. It's the Celebration Mile. This is open to horses age 3 or older. It's a Group 2 field, but being honest, I wouldn't be surprised if this was a listed contest looking at the field. Muta Sabek's 11-10, Jadumi's 4-1, Escobar is 11-2 in a Group 2. Finest Sound 15-2, and Stormy Antarctic is 10-1. For a feature, this is awful. Look, the favourite was 8th in this last year. I mean, he's an improving horse, and the opposition is not close as good as what he faced that day for sure. Stats say it tends to suit the top 3 in the betting. Well, that's not going to be hard in a 5-runner affair. I really don't like this race at all. I mean, I really wish I could say that I do, because I love a big group race at Goodwood. It's just not got that appeal, has it? There's been plenty said about it on Twitter, not being at top quality level. I'd probably edge towards the favourite. I thought the second behind Chindit last day probably looked like the horse was going to snatch it from Chindit that day. I'd probably say that's good enough to go and win this, but it's not a really confident selection. It's a race I'm probably going to be shying away from, but Muta Sabek would be mine, I think.
This is such a bad race, isn't it? This is such a
We
bad
don't like
race.
to be too controversial, do we? But I mean, it is. You've got to accept it.
It's hard not to be. I wouldn't even say it's controversial. It is just poor, isn't it? We love Goodwood. We're huge Goodwood advocates, but as a Group 2 goes, this is just dire, isn't it? It's an absolute mess of a race. I won't be having a bet whatsoever. Never warmed to Muta Sabek. He's been turned over as a short favourite the last twice. Jadumi, I think, will definitely like the ground with a little bit of giving it. Of course, won over 9 furlongs in France on good to soft ground last time out. Not too sure the step back in trip's going to suit. Of course, there's no pacemaker here. Escobar's Escobar. I don't need to say too much about Escobar. I think he's as short as 4-1 for a Group 2, which is a little bit surprising. I think he's 0 from 9 Goodwood as a whole. If I was going to side for one, it'd be the outsider of the field. It'd be Stormy Antarctic. On
the old boy.
On anything softer than good to soft, he's got 7 wins from his 20 runs, and 13 of them have been in the top 2. So he's also had 6 seconds. Look, he's finishing the top 2 13 times on good to soft or softer. He has a respectable record after a break. Was of course 3rd behind Majestic Dawn, over a mile and a quarter here on good to soft ground. You can tell I'm talking really quickly because I don't really want to talk about this race. But look, Stormy Antarctic would be the one if I had to stick my neck out. Am I going to stick my neck out? Nope. I'm going to be watching.
It's a non-bet race for myself and Jack. Was this the race last year where Escobar ran, and then the week later we came on here and I said that the horse would go close in the Balmoral? It
is, yeah.
Get ready for more of that next week. Get ready for more of that. Champions Day anti-post betting on the Balmoral, Escobar all day long. Right,
You'll never learn, will you? You'll never learn.
Mate, you can't talk with Sacred and your beloved horse this season of Ed Walker's, could you?
Sorry, I'm not listening.
I can't mention her name anymore.
Neither can I. She's going to win a big one.
Oh, God, here we go. Actually, to be fair, talking about horses that said they were going to win a big one, Dragon Symbol actually ran a good race. Get ready, get ready for more of that.
But no, you'll be pleased to know my Sacred and Primo Baccio cliff has been fallen off, and I will no longer be backing either of them. There we go. It's done.
You heard it here first, and this will be clipped up any time that Jack mentions those horses or puts them up for any race.
Primo Baccio is gone. I've let her go.
Okay, fine. Okay, let's go off to Beverly then now for their feature race, the 5 furlong listed Beverly Bullet Sprint Stakes, and Tis Marvellous is the 7-2 favourite, 9-2 About Cork, Existent 8-1, Arecibo and King of Change 10-1. Monda Damage, he just can't stop running. He's 11s and 12s. Bar. You can kick this off because I started plenty. Go on, who wins this?
This isn't a corker, but Cork is going to win. Yes. Hopefully, this race is usually won by a seasoned veteran. Of course, Tis Marvellous won it last year, so therefore I'm going to go for the improving 3-year-old. That's just kind of how it works. I mean, if Corker could get out of a stall, he would have won a big one. He would have won the Palace of Hollywood House. At Ascot, when he finished 11th, he gave away so many lengths that day. Finished in good style. I think it was the fastest final 3 furlongs because he was about 15 lengths away and did the exact same thing again last time out. He threw the race away at York when he was behind Mondam Edge and Royal Acclaim. Yet again, recorded the fastest final 3 furlong split. Hopefully today is the day that he can break from the stalls in good style. If he does, I'll probably get on in play as well. He's not a ridiculously bad price. I know Tis Marvellous has the course form after romping up in this last year. I know Mondam Edge is 3 times the price of Corker, which is very interesting because I know he's giving him less weight today. But hopefully Corker, the improving 3-year-old, will finally get his head in front.
I'd love to be fair. Like I put here that I really fancy Corker to go and win this, but I would love to see Mondam Edge go and win something like this, wouldn't you? Just like it's not a race that look, I'm going to be having a bit this whole week. I'm not going to be having any sort of big bet on anything. But I'd look if anything's going to turn over my horse Corker, I'd love to see Mondam Edge do it. And like you say, look, Royal Acclaim in that race won it, and Mondam Edge was second with Corker back in third. Although Corker, another horse who can get quite unlucky in running. That's my one worry with regards to Cork. I do think that Tis Marvellous, look, he's been great, isn't he, for the Clive Cox team. At the age of 8, he keeps running his races, 10th in the King's Stand, and likes to show speed, so I'd like to imagine he'll be up with the pace as well. It's one of those where you want to be showing a bit of speed. We'll have to hope that Corker does break well, but I think 9-2 about the 3-year-old. Oh, mate, it's been a long week at York, I tell you, jeez. So the 3-year-old Corker, I think this will be going in for me and Jack. Sunday then, for one more race from Goodwood. A nice little bank holiday meeting. Jack and I are heading up there Friday night. Are you going to any other days?
No, just the Friday.
Just the Friday. Yeah, lovely firework display after racing. Looking forward to that. I know, yeah. Have you ever been to it?
I have, just once. It's about 4 or 5 years ago, but lovely.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, looking forward to that. Some exciting little 2-year-old running as well tomorrow night. Looking forward to seeing some of them. The 3:35 on Sunday at Goodwood is the Group 3. It's a Group 3 over 7 furlongs, open to 3-year-olds and older. Double or Bubble, Happy Power, Misty Grey, Danae, Wings of War, Ever Given. Just a few names that are lining up here. It's not a race that I was overly wanting to talk about in detail, but Happy Power seemed to really enjoy the Lennox last time out. Finished 4th that day, finishing ahead of Sacred, who Jack and I were both
That was
on.
so unnecessary.
I know,
that
yeah,
was so
sorry.
unnecessary.
Yeah, and I didn't want to do that. I just think this horse is now better over 7-6. I think they're wise to be keeping this horse at 7. Hasn't won since April. That was a listed event. But it wouldn't surprise me if the Grey could go and do this for the boarding team. But again, not a confident selection. Yourself?
I'm intrigued to see Danae back. Yet again, of course, after finishing second to Miss On Scene last year in the Prestige. Wings of War, I think, finished third in the Hungerford. If he does go here, I think he has a relatively okay chance. But Double or Bubble was second in this last year. Behind, do you remember the winner of this last year?
Oh. No.
Toro Strike.
Toro
Strike went and won in this
I
last
remember
year.
Toro Strike, yeah.
But Double or Bubbles proved she can handle it as a 6 foot as a sprinter in Group 1 company this year, of course, was staying on in 6th in the July Cup behind your beloved Dragon Symbol. So I think it was Dragon Symbol anyway. But look, hopefully this step up to 7 furlongs will suit, and I think she has an okay chance. I don't know what price she's going to be. Hopefully she'll be about 3-1, 7-2, and I think I may have a little bet if she is.
Okay, Double or Bubble starting price for Jack, and Happy Power at starting price for myself. So yeah, not the most exciting of previews, but we will try and get a napper next best out of this. We'll see what we can do. Okay. Go your next best first.
My next best is going to be Double or Bubble in the second best Supreme of the year, the Supreme Stakes on the Sunday.
Good. My next best is going to be Corker in the Bullet at Beverly, and your nap?
It's going to be Corker in the Beverly Bullet.
Confidence behind Corker in the Bullet. My nap is going to be Candle of Hope in the opening race at Goodwood on Saturday. I think that horse for Her Majesty will be going in. And that's it for the preview. Like I say, a short but sweet preview of plenty of laughs and you agreeing to not back 2 horses next season. Prima Battery and Sacred. Good luck with that, because there's going to be one time where I'm going to be putting them up and you're going to be so jealous. We're going to be back next week with a preview of what usually is quite a nice Group 1. The Betfair Sprint Cup is next Saturday, so we'll be giving a good preview with regards to that race there. Let us know down in the comments who your nap is for this week, and we'll have a look through and reply to some of those. Also, let us know what you're doing on the bank holiday weekend. We'd love to know. But we will see you next weekend for our preview of the Sprint Cup. Just subscribe, like this video, and we will see you then.